Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be going over my final reflections for IDT 3600 that covers the ISTE standards for teachers. The ISTE standards for teachers are 1. To facilitate and inspire student learning and creativity. 2. Design and develop digital age learning experiences and assessments. 3. Model digital age work and learning. 4. Promote and model digital citizenship and responsibility. And 5. Engage in professional growth and leadership. ISTE Standard 1A states, promote, support, and model creative and innovative thinking and inventiveness. An example of this from IDT 3600 is our instructional comic, which allows students to be inventive and present their knowledge in a creative way. ISTE Standard 1B states that engage students in exploring real-world issues and solving authentic problems using digital tools and resources. One big problem that is going on at this time is that some schools don't have the same access to technology as others. So even in low-tech environments, it's very important to find a way to incorporate technology into the curriculum. And we were able to learn more about this during our low-tech environments reflection for IDT. ISTE Standard 1C states that we should promote student reflection using collaborative tools to reveal and clarify students' conceptual understanding and thinking, planning, and creative processes. For this, I chose an example of our presentation that we made on one of the Web 2.0 tools. And the Web 2.0 tools are just mobile applications that allow students to be collaborative with other students and even individuals not in the classroom. ISTE Standard 2B states that we should develop technology-enriched learning environments that enable all students to pursue their individual curiosities and become active participants in setting their own educational goals, managing their own learning, and assessing their own progress. For this standard, I chose the example of our WebQuest activity, which allows students to actually do more of the learning on their own and search through the internet to find that knowledge. Additionally, it gives them a tool that allows them to explore many different subjects that may not even be the one that we're teaching in the classroom or one necessarily that has to do with school, but allows them to learn at their own pace and in their own interests. ISTE Standard 2C states that we should customize and personalize learning activities to address students' diverse learning styles, working strategies, and abilities using digital tools and resources. All of the lecture capture activities are an example of this standard. For example, when students may not want to be presenting up in front of the class, they could submit an audio capture through Vocaroo, which allows them not to have their face put up in front of everybody, but rather their voice explaining the knowledge that they've learned. ISTE Standard 2D states that we should provide students with multiple and varied formative and summative assessments aligned with content and technology standards and use resulting data to inform learning and teaching. For this standard, I chose the lesson plan activity in which we had to use multiple applications in this lesson plan. And it just allows for different uses of technology to be used to assess students along the way and summatively at the end. And it allows students to explore technology while also meeting content standards as well. ISTE Standard 3A states that we should demonstrate fluency in technology systems in the transfer of current knowledge to new technologies and situations. For this standard, I chose the example of our screen capture activity in which we taught some kind of activity on the internet, and it allows me to teach from wherever, the comfort of my own home, a classroom, but I can also broadcast it to people in their own homes or anywhere in the world virtually. ISTE Standard 3C states to communicate relevant information and ideas effectively to students, parents, and peers using a variety of digital age media and formats. For this standard, I chose the example of our Web 2.0 tools, which are a variety of mobile applications that allow for collaboration between virtually anyone, especially students, parents, and peers. And with this collaboration comes communication as well. ISTE Standard 3D states, model and facilitate effective use of current and emerging digital tools to locate, analyze, evaluate, and use information resources to support research and learning. For this example, I chose the interactive learning activities because it allows students to use a variety of different tools in order to learn. They can on their own, but it can also be throughout the classroom, a collaborative activity of the whole classroom. But there are just so many activities out there online that can give students extra help, extra practice that maybe the teacher might not have the ability to do in the classroom while trying to teach everyone else at the same time. ISTE Standard 4A states, advocate, model, and teach safe, legal, and ethical use of digital information and technology, including respect for copyright, intellectual property, and the appropriate documentation of sources. For this standard, I chose the example of our reflection of low-tech environments because we were expected to listen to the module and read it if needed, and we had to write a reflection about it while also giving credit back to the module since that is where we got most of our knowledge from. ISTE Standard 4B states, address the diverse needs of all learners by using learner-centered strategies providing equitable access to appropriate digital tools and resources. For this standard, I chose the example of our graphic organizer project, which a graphic organizer can be used for many different things, but it's especially helpful for having a learner-centered environment because you can start out with simply the topics of each of this. For example, in my example, I used the cell parts. So I could just list the cell parts and they would have to tell me 5 things about that they learned about each cell part. And so that just kind of allows the students to do more of the learning and searching rather than the teacher just sitting and lecturing to them. ISTE Standard 4C states to promote and model digital etiquette and responsible social interactions related to the use of technology and information. For this standard, I chose our discussion posts during IDT 3600 because we were expected to not only come up with our own ideas about the topic and create our own discussion posts, but to comment on 2 other classmates' posts. And it just promotes social interaction in a healthy technological environment. ISTE Standard 5A states to participate in local and global learning communities to explore creative applications of technology to improve student learning. For this example, I once again chose the Web 2.0 tools because there are just so many outlets of communication and collaboration and just different opportunities to explore creativity and be creative, and to also share this creativity with the rest of the community and the globe. ISTE Standard 5B states to exhibit leadership by demonstrating a vision of technology infusion, participating in shared decision-making and community building, and developing the leadership and technology skills of others. For this standard, I chose the example of our multiple application lesson plan because it demonstrates that it's very possible to incorporate technology into a lesson and further students' learning and technological skills. Lastly, ISTE Standard 5C states, evaluate and reflect on current research and professional practice on a regular basis to make effective use of existing and emerging digital tools and resources in support of student learning. For this standard, I chose the example of our spreadsheet activity, which not only chose a real-world issue of finding healthy meals, and that was relevant to our lives, but it's also an application that many people will need to use to compare data and just evaluate different sources. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a great day.